Today we'll go with the poem Keeping Quiet. Keeping Quiet is a peace poem written by the Chilean poet Pablo Neruda. The poet asks humanity to count numbers from 1 to 12. 12 being the number of hours shown in a clock. Keeping Quiet is actually a peace poem, and the poet basically asks humanity to count numbers from 1 to 12. Why? Because 12 being the number of hours shown in a clock, or the number of zodiac signs, or the month in a year. He requests everyone not to speak. Why? Because language creates barriers between people. The moment when everyone stops moving their body will be a very special and different, as we have never experienced such a moment before. The poet says that in this period of inactivity, the fishermen would not harm the whales. The salt gatherers will not hurt their hands, and those who are busy destroying the nature, will adopt a new approach, towards life. The men who are preparing for wars and victory based on deaths of innocent people will join their enemy and stand in unity with them, doing nothing. No one will harm himself or any other person. Everyone will unite, and they'll look upon their acts and realize the result of their actions. Actually, the poet clarifies his idea and says that he does not want that people should stand idle. He wants that there should be no war. Why? Because war, it brings destruction. It brings destruction. He does not want to see trucks laden with dead bodies of the soldiers. He is promoting universal brotherhood and peace. The poet says that everyone is working continuously to achieve one's goals. People are threatened. People are threatened by death, and the fear forces them to work endlessly so that they can achieve everything quickly. In this mad rush, children, the people, they do not realize the repercussions of their acts, that what would be the result of their actions. The poet wants us to pause and come out of the mad rush. He wants us to be happy about our achievements and celebrate them. Children, actually, the poet wants us to overcome the fear of death and to relax for a while. We should know the result of our deeds, and he wants us to celebrate our achievements. When the people will remain quiet for a while, they'll realize the purpose of their lives. Just like all the creations of nature undergo a rebirth with the change of seasons, similarly, keeping quiet will be a rebirth. It would be a rebirth for the human soul. It will give a new meaning to our life. Again, the poet says that he will count till 12 and asks everyone to remain quiet while he leaves. So, children, in this poem, he discusses the need of maintaining peace and silence. He stresses upon being quiet and harmless to the human beings, animals, and environment. He suggests that in order to maintain peace and harmony, it is required to stop and introspect ourselves. Children, it is written in a free verse and it does not follow any rhyme scheme. Actually, the poet urges everyone not to speak any language, as we all know that there are different languages spoken in different parts of the earth, and it sometimes become a barrier. It becomes a barrier for peace. So he asks people not to speak. And not only this, he also wants us to stop moving our arms. Children, the question which can come in the exam and which is very important is by using the word arms. What does he mean? He means the weapons which are used by different countries to raise a war against each other. So basically, the poet is demanding peace from all of us. He is expecting that we should maintain peace. Now, children, no one will be in a rush. The poet actually says that in case if we do it, then no one will be in a rush. There will be no engines running. Everyone will be calm and quiet, united with each other in a strange atmosphere. It will be a strange, why? Because it has never happened earlier. No person would be harming any other living being. It could be either for food or to learn his livelihood. All the people who work endlessly will get some time to look at their injuries and the damage they cause to their body. In the next paragraph, the poet says that the people who exploit the green wealth of nature, they spoil the green wealth of nature by deforestation or mining, or it can be fishing also in the deep seas. And the soldiers who use weapons, they use weapons to kill fellow human beings. They need some time. They need some time to introspect into the consequences of their actions. They are merely doing their job. These soldiers, they are merely doing their jobs or they may be following the orders. But he wants those soldiers to put on new clothes. Why he says new clothes? Because he wants them to adopt a new approach towards life and to realize that killing so many people is not a victory. He wants all of us to be united, united as one. And he wants us that we should consider our enemy to be our brother. Actually, poet is promoting brotherhood, peace and unity. He does not want to stop our works, but he wants us to take some time and analyze the result of our deeds, our actions. He says that all human beings works endlessly and they works endlessly with the aim of completing all their tasks. They are working day and night, they are working. They are driven by the target of survival and the threat of death. So they are in a mad rush. Why they are in a mad rush? They are in a mad rush to accomplish all their works. They want to complete their works. He says that perhaps if they pause for a while, they can appreciate their achievements and their lives would become happier. So the poet suggests that by keeping quiet, we'll be able to understand the true purpose of our life. As the earth undergoes changes, children, in winter everything freezes. It becomes lifeless. But after some time, the season changes again and everything comes back to life. So similarly, poet says taking a pause, waiting for a while and introspecting into our lives will give it a new meaning. We'll be able to understand the purpose of our life and it will be like a rebirth of the soul. The poet has conveyed to all the people the purpose of his message, and so he asks everyone to wait for a while. Children, in this poem, the rhyme scheme is free verse. There is no particular rhyme scheme in the poem. And the literary device is assonance. Assonance, again I'll explain, use of vowel sound O and E. Now we'll count to 12 and not move our arms so much. The vowel sound which comes O and E. Anaphora, two consecutive lines starting with the word. Two consecutive line. When we start the line with the same word, consecutive line means following line. When we start the consecutive lines with the same word, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second. So let's word is there. So it is which figure of speech, which literary device? Anaphora. Now alliteration, I've already told you the sound we will, W sound is repeated. Then imagery. Imagery is called see, and then repetition of the word, use of war is again and again repeated. Children, I'm sending you the notes. Kindly note down. This was a summary of keeping quiet.